kind of like nature nurture debate on this, and there were two chess masters, and they had children, two daughters, and they taught them chess from a young age. And then the daughters grew up to be
One of the
chess
best.
masters or some of the very strong players themselves. So that pretty much proved that it's kind of nurture. So it's not like you're just born good or bad, or if you're male or female.
So we're very happy to have James, the personal trainer, here on my podcast today. Hello, James.
Hello.
I wanted to invite you again because I really want to ask you something about chess. I'm aware that you are into chess and you have been playing it kind of obsessively for at least 2 years, right? Can you please tell me how did you start playing chess?
I got into it when I went to a meetup group, and there were some board games there, and chess was one of those games. So I just sat down, and I knew kind of the rules of how to play, and just from playing that game and losing, it kind of inspired me to try and get better at the game and learn how to play. And from there, I just started trying to learn, like play more online and learn how to get better, and then just keep playing regularly. And from there, I just kept it up, kept busy playing. Yeah.
Does that mean that you never ever had a chance when you were little learning chess from playing with your parents or your friends?
Yeah, I did that. I've done that when I was younger, but I didn't really take it seriously. Like I had like a computer game when I was younger called like Chess Master that my dad got me to get me better at chess, but it was just playing against a computer, and I think I just put it on like the easy mode, and then they always make mistakes. So it's really easy to win, and then I just get lots of queens and then win easily. So I never really played seriously when I was young. I kind of just knew how the pieces move, but that was about it.
So it sounded to me that you suddenly regain your interest in chess after you became a proper grown up. It sounds to me that chess itself wasn't appealing enough to you when you were little, but suddenly that you kind of found the spark in this sport. I will call this a sport. And a couple of years ago, a game. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's fine
there's
that
debate whether it's a sport or not.
I think it can be considered a sport.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting idea. 'Cause it doesn't take. I think for a definition for a sport, it needs like physical ability. Where it's more of like it's like a puzzle game, and kind of like, so there isn't really a physical aspect to it, not in the way that like other sports have the physical element. I mean, there was, from what I remember in the news, questions of whether it's be included in the Olympics, but I don't think they never got that far and got approved. But there's something called a chess Olympiad, which is kind of similar, I suppose. It's like a big competition where people from different countries come together and play. So it's kind of like the chess version of the Olympics, and there's plenty of chess tournaments anyway, so it doesn't really need to be a sport. It can still be played widely anyway.
I have really made my mind to have you again on my podcast, because seriously, I think it was like last night I saw you playing chess with someone in an extremely dedicated way, and this made me think a lot. First and foremost, it's so weird that there were so few female participants in this game. Because what really bewildered me is that as a woman, I can understand that there are some physical limitations perhaps when it comes to sports, because women and men, we are physically different. So it makes sense for some people to say that, and that is reflected in some international games competition where the rules are set differently for men and women. But chess and many other games, such as the Chinese chess, where I grew up playing as well, or even Go, I think you play Go as well. These are all intellectual games. So it doesn't really make sense if someone tells me that women are having some inherent limitations before them. That's why their participation is just relatively lower than that in men. Just doesn't make sense. So I just really cannot think of any reason why women's participation is just widely lower than that in men.
I think it's because of less of an interest in the game. But I suppose you could ask why that is. But maybe if it's already a very male-dominated game, girls are put off, and maybe it's not seen as like a traditionally like female game where women might typically go into other activities.
That's very interesting, how you mentioned this, because do you remember that probably a year ago or 16 months ago about that, I wanted to learn chess from you, and I think you taught me how to play chess extremely patiently. I think you explained the rules very well, and I did remember them for maybe a month and a half. And what happened is that I lost my patience. I think this is a game that requires so much attention, and I just don't think I'm patient enough in this. And that's why I think some people argue on the internet saying that probably women's low participation in the game was due to the fact that this game is good, it's fun, but it's just not appealing enough for many of us to want to spend hours, days, if not years to be good. So I don't know whether they explain some, inherent gender differences, but I don't want to say anything controversial. That would be very debatable.
Yeah, maybe women just have less of an interest to play, but there was an interesting kind of like nature nurture debate on this, and there were two chess masters, and they had children, two daughters, and they taught them chess from a young age, and then the daughters grew up to be
One of the
chess
best.
masters or some of the very strong players themselves. So that pretty much proved that it's kind of nurture. So it's not like you're just born good or bad, or if you're male or female, but if you like play the game early and spend time improving, anyone can get better regardless of who you are.
Really appreciate your comment. And in fact, that is one of the things I've read earlier today. And I think that is probably the reason why the participation among women is just lower than that in men. Because for some reason, I think the nurturing and the invitation to this game for women probably is just lower than that in men. But if that is the fact, there will be some societal explanation behind that, which is that why there are more opportunities for men to be involved in this game than that in women. I think, I don't know, maybe some parents, they're living under the gender stereotypes. They think that women will not be interested in an intellectual game and men are more likely to be interested. I think it's just something very interesting. And definitely as a woman, I do want to see the percentage in this game to be a lot higher, because trust me, when I saw you and another male participant being so obsessed with this game and I could not participate, I don't think it was a great feeling. It's not. I really wish that I could be able to come up with at least a comment just to help. I was so lost in the game. It was so weird that, there are maybe a total of 6 pieces only on the board, and you and another person kind of live in another world. you were like speaking a different language, which I totally couldn't understand. And you were saying that one person saying that it was such a shit situation, and the other one saying that, do you want me to give you a hint or not? I was thinking that you guys are so weird. They were just a total of 6 pieces. How many variations there could possibly be? So it's not a great feeling. I definitely want
with less
to.
pieces at the end game, it becomes a lot simpler.
No, that is exactly the opposite how I felt. And that's why it wasn't a pleasant feeling. And that's why I definitely hope that one day I will be able to know chess.
If you're not experienced at chess, then it might not be very clear regardless of how many pieces there are. Because even if you just know how the pieces move, you still kind of have to be able to look at a position and kind of understand like the strength and weakness of it and what can be played.
Actually, as we talk about gender so heavily about chess, tell me if you ever play chess with a woman.
Yeah, I'm sure a few times, yeah.
And what do you think? Will they happen? Were they good or?
Yeah, I think there's some very strong women players in Brighton. One of them at the one of the chess pub meetups is apparently a woman's master. So
really, do you know what? This is just an assumption. I was thinking that one day I can be really, really good at chess. Would that be intimidating to you? Because remember that one time when you were out from the gym and you told me that there was this woman who was so strong that who lifted just as many weights, if not more, than you. It probably is going to be intimidating, which is why some men, they do argue, although I do not agree. Actually, I fully disagree. They're saying that women cannot be good at things such as chess because they should be good at something else. This is so like, oh, this is like really gender stereotype, which I don't like. But what do you think? If one day I'm better than you at chess, would that make you happy?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being so open-minded. I do like it. Yeah. Another thing I want to ask you is that I think you mentioned maybe today or the other day about how you read about playing chess actually burns more calorie than most sports. How much do you know about this?
I read a bit about it. I'd have to get up the article to get the full details. But I think there was a study that was done that showed that elite players over the course of a tournament can burn thousands of calories. Maybe I think it was like several thousand calories in a day. So
I think if this is
quite
true,
interesting.
If this is true, this will become a huge motivation of me learning how to play chess because I am inherently lazy. So that means that I am lazy by nature. I think it would be nice if every day I just need to sit down, play chess, eat and drink. That's actually very nice. It's just that I still remember the biggest reason why I just could not progress with chess is because it was so draining. It's so mentally draining because I always had to force myself to envisage all the possibilities before every move. It's just so much. I just could not handle, and that's why I kind of gave up. That's why I was thinking there must be some other ways to make these games a lot more pleasant, especially when I see like a 3-year-old girl and boy, they're doing so well with chess. It's really made me feel horrible.
Well, yeah, you can play online.
With a 3-year-old and being beaten by her? I don't think that will make me feel even better.
Well, I mean, when you play online, there's websites that teach you, like, first of all, the basics, how the pieces move, and then after that, some of the ideas and principles in the game. And then after that, if you don't like thinking too long, lots of people don't, you can play quicker games, which require less thinking.
This is the thing. I think
because then you just have to move quickly, so you just have to kind of make the best move you can quickly.
You know, I genuinely think I'm indirectly telling my audience that I am the kind of woman who doesn't like to think, who only likes shallow stuff. But that's the thing that I don't understand, because the job I'm now having to make a living actually requires a lot of analytical thinking, critical thinking. It may be kind of different from the intellectual thinking that chess requires, but it does require that kind of ability, mainly probably seen or dominated by men. So I would not say that I'm bad. I don't think I'm bad. I can certainly do this better. It's just that I probably need the motivation, and I think that's the thing that is missing in women. That explains why the participation of them in chess is so low. So if we can fix that, we can definitely see a higher participation in this game.
Yeah, I mean, some people have views that men might be better than women, like innately, but I don't think that's true.
Thank you. That's very open-minded of you, and I think as a guy, as a man, saying this aloud means a lot to me as a woman as well. So, okay, so we talk about gender, we talk about calorie burning. There is a third part I do want to talk about, which is I also remember when I saw you playing chess with another person, like physically in person, there is one thing in my mind that I think is intriguing. I am convinced that knowing how to play chess and knowing how to play chess well is good if you work in an army, say if you're a soldier, let alone if you're a commanding officer instructing the next move. I kind of feel like chess, including the Chinese chess, maybe Go as well. It's about strategic planning. I think if you know how to play chess very well, you will know how to make a good move. Say if your country is in the war with several countries and you need to know where to deploy your troops. What do you think about this? Do you think there's any potential connection between the military exercises?
I'm not sure. I see the logic behind it, how
Yes,
it could be beneficial with
because
strategic thinking.
in my imagination, it's like seeing knight. Imagine if knight is the troops on a certain point, and you consider pawn as the other resources you have deploy on a certain area. It's about how you should consider how to place each piece in what position and at what point they should be moved to certain point so that you can win. Especially it's about taking pieces of the opponent as well. I think this in reality does look like a war game.
Yeah, it is a war game. I think maybe generals traditionally learn how to play. But yeah, I'm thinking that there are benefits to chess with like logical thinking and strategy. But yeah, I don't want to overstate it. People can kind of get the idea that if you play chess, you're a genius or something like that, which isn't really the case.
You're being very modest. I can definitely see a direct link between the intellectual ability and chess. So basically, yes, you're right. If you know how to play chess, you may not be a genius, but I don't think you can play chess if you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, if you can play chess, it means that you're good at the game, and hopefully there's some like benefit and carry over to other things. But yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel like I'm probably the person who needs to reflect upon some of my thinking. I think from what you said, you're basically saying that if you are good at chess, there's still high chances that you're an idiot. You're just good at this game, but that doesn't rule out the possibility that you're an idiot.
Yeah, I think people might kind of get the wrong idea. And kind of overstate, like if you're good at chess, that you must be kind of good at everything else.
That for sure. I do not agree. You can't be good at everything else just because you're good at this game.
Yeah, not like everything else, right? It doesn't mean that like you're great at maths, or that you're some kind of that you have a really high IQ, or you're a genius, or anything like that.
I don't know. I do think that is a good indication of one's intelligence, no. I do think it does indicate something about that. Basically, I don't think you can have it's exactly as I said earlier. I don't think you can play chess well if you're an idiot. And I meant idiot by you have extremely low IQ. I do think there is some correlation between these two, but that is just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I think there's benefits to chess, but I just don't want to overstate them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, we talk about basically gender, potential benefit it can bring to military exercises and planning, and then the potential burning of the calories. I was thinking to ask you if you want, although we don't have a board or all the pieces before us, but do you want to tell the audience in a very simple way the rule of chess? And if you want, you can also briefly summarize how each piece moves if you want. So basically, it's just an opportunity for you to try to advocate the game chess, and hopefully before women, so you can see more female participants being little, being big in the future to play against you. And I do want them to beat you.
Well, it'd probably be easier if, rather than this. It can be quite hard to learn a game just by listening to me explain. So I'd probably redirect people to a chess website like Chess, and then from there they can kind of learn the game by playing and see the pieces. That's probably the easiest way to do it. If you're teaching someone, it's a lot easier to do it when they can actually see the board and pieces. Otherwise, having to visualize it is a bit different.
Yes, that's good.
But I just encourage anyone. Probably playing online is a great way to start. So that way, there's always people to play with. And you can also analyze, and there's lots of videos like YouTubers who are popular. And yeah, if you just start playing, and then you should just gradually get better over time, and just try to keep improving and keep playing and learning.
Yes, that's a good idea. It sounds to me that this kind of strategy works for everything. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'd say you should be kind of enjoying it. It should be like a fun game, so you shouldn't be kind of forcing yourself to do it if it's something that you don't enjoy.
By the way, I do want to ask you, because this is kind of important, apart from chess, do you know how to play Chinese chess? I do know you play Go, right? And do you see any similarities between these games?
Yeah, I think I played some of those a bit.
And I want to tell you though, the reason why I'm obsessed with the gender question is because the pattern of men dominating chess. Okay, I'm just gonna call it Western chess. The fact of men dominating Western chess is shared. This pattern is shared in the East as well when it comes to Chinese chess or even Go, and I just don't know why. It's so funny that where I'm, like for instance, where I'm from in Taiwan, there is a pattern that men after a certain age, especially retired men, one of their pastimes is to meet other men at the park playing Chinese chess while having tea. And you rarely see any retired women there. It's always men, always. And I don't know why. And it's the same with Go, because I know that Go, this game, isn't just played by Chinese people. It's probably, I don't want to say anything controversial, but I know that Japanese people were heavily involved in this game. And in fact, some of the top players in the world are all Japanese. So it's a game that widely played in Asia. I think you can see the pattern as well. These games, they all require intellectual ability, strategic thinking, and I just don't understand why that women are not as dominating as men. I can only say it probably has something to do with, as you said, nurturing probably women do not have enough exposure to the game that explain this, but exactly why cause this I do not know, but I do want to see some changes coming. And I would definitely encourage you, if you want, you can learn how to play Chinese chess, because I wouldn't consider myself someone who know how to play Chinese chess well, because there are a few ways to play it. I only know the simplified version, because the traditional version is just harder. I think again, I decided to give up because the rules are so complicated, exactly like chess, and that's why I only learned to play the simplified version. And when it comes to Go, I think I know the idea, I know the basic idea, but if you ask me to exercise the rules and play this game properly, I cannot. So I also only know how to play the simplified version of Go. So, and in fact, simplified version of Chinese chess and Go, I don't think they are played in an international context. Definitely not in an international competition. So, yeah. So technically speaking, I don't know how to play Chinese chess, and I don't know how to play Go either.
That's fine. This depends what you're interested in. Yeah, I don't really know how to play Chinese chess either. I think I've played Go before, but
Do you like it? Do you like it, Go?
I only played it like once. Yeah, I mean it seems quite fun, but I'm happy playing chess, so I'd rather focus on one thing rather than trying to learn other games.
I do want
trying to become good at lots of different games.
If you're interested, I do want to tell you this. If I am right, I read in articles before, although it was written by probably the Chinese player, he analyzed Western chess, Chinese chess, and Go, and he concluded that in his view, the most difficult one among all of them is Go. And it's fascinating because if you remember Go only has two pieces, just black. You either have black or you either have white. But with this like simple setting, it can become the most complicated game. This is fascinating. So if you're interested, you should really look into this. And I'm pretty certain there are online version of Go. But as you said, if you don't want to distract yourself from other things, it's absolutely fine. I think you will be good at chess more and more. In fact, I should have asked you, what is your goal for chess? Do you have any your objective?
Yeah, you get an online rating. So it'd be nice to try and improve that to improve over time.
Do you have an exact number in mind that where are you now and where do you want to achieve?
So for rapid games, I'm about 1250.
Okay.
It really isn't that good.
I think you're being too modest. Most of the players I've seen you playing said you are very good.
Yeah, I'm maybe compared to just like casual players, but I mean, I used to be a bit higher rated, about 1400. So I guess I've just been losing some games, but yeah, I mean, over time, I mean, like a long-term goal, something like 2000, but that's probably a bit unrealistic. Just like 1500 or anything kind of higher rated would be nice. Anything from like 1500 to 2000, I think would be nice.
Do you see yourself spending more time or spending equally amount of time improving your chess in your spare time in the months to come or in the years to come?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I keep enjoying it, hopefully I'll keep playing, keep improving.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan to keep playing, and
yes,
if I can keep doing it over many years, hopefully I'll be improving.
I have one more interesting question I want to ask you. What's your favorite piece of chess and what's your least favorite piece of chess and why?
I guess knights are quite unique in the way that they can jump over pieces.
Yeah, and I do like the L-shaped rule. That's probably the only rule I remember.
Yeah, and then the fact they move in that way, so they can give like interesting forks when they attack two pieces at once.
And it usually is the most beautiful piece on the board.
Yeah. So I think I kind of like the way where they move.
Okay, so knights is your favorite. What about your least favorite? You can't say
Yeah.
like pawn, because pawn can be the most powerful one at some
Yeah,
point.
pawns can be quite interesting.
Okay, it's okay. You don't have to pick one if you don't have one. It sounds to me that you just like all the pieces, which is fine. So thank you so much for sharing your chess story with me, and I really hope, as you can tell from my words earlier, that I really do want to see higher female participation in this game, because I don't think there any biological reason why women are not as good. I think women can be good. It's just a lack of exposure and practice. So I do want to see a change in this pattern to come. Maybe not in the next few months, but hopefully years to come. And most importantly, I do want to see a female beating you one day. That would be so fun. That would be really probably the highlight of my life. One of the highlights. Yes. Maybe I will be that woman. You never know. I will make myself that woman.
Yeah, if you're interested, then you can start playing.
Yeah, why not? Thank you so much for your attention. If you like my podcast, please make sure you leave your review by giving me a 5-star. The bigger my podcast, the bigger the guest I can invite in the future. Thank you so much for your help, and I hope to speak to you soon again. Have a good day.